There's no doubt that essential oils are one of the great gifts to mankind. But like so many things, the simple concept of essential oils, things that come from nature, things that are plant-based, have been bypassed by the boasts and the claims of synthetic and chemical products. It's a time that we look at the essential oils and what they can do for us, and some of those oils will actually get rid of odors in a marvelous and an effective way for you. When we would talk about essential oils, you may think of some of the little vials that you see in some specialty stores. And there are even some perfumes that are made in conjunction with essential oil. And they're very exotic, some of them very familiar, like rose petals. But essential oil's been around for a very long time. We like them because they come from nature itself. They're plant-based, they're not a synthetic that may cause us some adverse reaction. And so what we really are dealing with is something I think we need to have a better introduction to. You'll find that the essential oils are used for their aroma and their fragrance, and that's fine. There's a segment of those that, like rose water, that has been around for a very, very long time. But there are other types of essential oils that are used medicinally or for wellness, and they are particularly good about certain factors that may affect us in our body and will help us do better in life. I mean, we all have taken eucalyptus to kind of clear out our nasal area after a cold, and it works for that. We have other types of liniment like tea tree oil that we can use. Even things like oregano oil and so on are all coming out of nature, and we use them in specific ways. So isn't it wonderful to know that is already a bevy of products that are out there that we could be using for our own health and wellness? Well, I'm going to explore another concept with you that I think is really very interesting, and even after the fragrance issue and after the wellness and issue as far as that goes, what about odors? Odors are really a complex type of concept because they can be organic, they can be related to mold, they can be because of some waste issue, they can be because of any number of concerns we have, and obviously job number one whenever you're dealing with odors is to clean. If we don't clean things up and kind of get the area prepared, the best things we can do are not really going to solve the problem. And I know there's a lot of products out there that will try to treat odors, and they brag all day long on TV about how really effective they are, better than anything else. But they are chemical substances. And so when we're using these products, we're introducing a lot of synthetics and chemicals into our lives that we really don't need. And so what if there is something more natural, more healthy for us that can help us out? Now, I brought along some illustrations that will help out with that, because the problem with odors is there's something behind that. There's a source for that odor. And no matter what it might be, it's kind of something like a molecule. And a molecule has several atoms in it. And so let's suppose that this is some foul odor, whether it's a sulfur type of odor or some type of trash type of odor, whatever it might be. This is the kind of odor that you want to get rid of. Now, part of what we can do, if we use ozone, we can actually try to add an oxygen atom to this and oxidize it. Other products will try to reduce it down by taking some atoms from this. And those are areas that we have seen and used in the different forms of odor elimination. But what if there was something we could do that was, again, quite natural and would do the job for us? This is called odor modification. When we deal with odor modification, we're going to take a molecule like this, and we're not going to kind of exchange atoms like we might with oxidation or reduction. We're actually going to bond together two sets of molecules. And by doing this, we set up a situation where now we have something different than we had before. And this is what we deal with when we're talking about odor modification. We take the problem odor that we had, and we have a special type of essential oils whose characteristics are kind of odor nullification or odor modification. And what they will do then is they will bond with that particular offending odor, and they will change its character. Now, they predominate in the sense that when they attach to these, the foul odor is kind of canceled out, not masked, not hidden, not done temporarily, but it's a kind of a permanent configuration where now this is going to be the new structure of this, and the pleasant odor will predominate as opposed to the bad odor. So now we have a different way to use essential oils, and it's called odor modification. It's one of the several strategies we might use when we're dealing with odors, and it's an effective way for us to do with this, and you have to kind of know when and how and why you use this type of concept. Essential oils tend to be a little expensive, but we've used something called Zytofresh, and Zytofresh has been used for many years now in wide applications, much more troublesome than what you might be running into. But we do use the concept of bringing along an odor modifier in some situations and bonding it with whatever we're encountering and solving the problem that way. Sometimes we team up ideas. In some cases, we may use ozone along with an odor modifier. We might use a product like Decon 5 and we follow with an odor modifier. Or in some situations, you can simply use an odor modifier. It's like having several clubs in your bag and determining which one you need to use there. Now there's some illustrations we could talk about how that we can take an original molecule and kind of change it to something else. So if you were a kid growing up, you could either drink water, if that was all you had, and you could drink water and that was fine and good, it was very natural for you, or you could take and make Kool-Aid, and Kool-Aid brought a flavor to that, and now when we drank that water, it was no longer just water, it was now had a flavor and a sweetness to it, and most kids liked Kool-Aid better than they liked water. And that's kind of a simple illustration how we can take something that is really kind of simple in the molecular form, and we can add something to it, and it changes the nature of what it is. So when you begin to think about odor modification, you might want to take a look at Zytofresh. It is 100% essential oil. It is a special blend of essential oils that bond with the troublesome area. It's good about treating airborne issues as well as some localized issues. But we like the product. We think it's something that our professionals seem to use with regularity. And I think it's going to be something that will make your life better because it's natural, it's healthy, it's a part of how we can keep our lives, our homes, and our families less under the thumb of synthetic and chemical products that normally begin to invade our lives.